operating temperature currently.
Okay, and boats like most of these race boats, there's no water pump. The water is just force fed through the engine. Watch out, there may be a new electronic device in that boat. That'd be the automatic shut-off that we're going to have
these guys are going to get together. Now, we got to be careful there with the Annabelle S. We can't call them Gang Green. I guess we got to call them Team Green. Yeah, and you hear them. They're all here. Trust me. That is not the reason there's a green flag on the race course, although if they had anything to say about it, that would be the case. But we also have a boat on the course that is called the Gang Green, and it is being driven by Ed Kelson. So there's a lot of green, and when it comes to the Annabelle S and Team Green, there is nobody here that will have as much fun or more fun as those folks. They're hooting and hollering. They're holding up their green shirts. You can't miss them. You can hear them in the background. They have a good time. They have a beautiful hydroplane out there on the water. And look at these guys. They made sure they're legal. They crossed the 1 minute buoy with 57 seconds before the start. So yeah, it's just an exhibition, but they're out there showing you that they can do it the right way. Some of the biggest names in the Northwest. You got Eddie Kelson out there behind the wheel. You ever heard of Kelson's Boat Shop? Yeah, well, that's the same Kelson. That's the same name. So many of the boats that you see restored out here over the years come out of that boat shop. It's down in the South Park area of Seattle, and if you've ever been to that shop, it is a trip down memory lane, even if it has nothing to do with boat racing. Basically a museum in Seattle. All right, all four of our Vintage 3 boats up in the upper corner. Take a look at the clock here, just for curiosity. We're approaching 10 seconds. See, these guys will do a good job. Now Kelly there. I think Kelly's helping us out. He's going to push the Merion Bluegrass way to the outside here. Here they come with 1 second. There's our start. Kelly Hodgkin. Oh, and you start to get just an idea. If he wanted to lay on that Merion Bluegrass on the outside, it would be quite a show. So these guys are out here doing an outstanding job in our Vintage 3 class hydroplane. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the different designs you see out there on the water. How about that? Up the backstretch. Yeah. You think that boat couldn't pick him up and lay him down back in the day? John Leach will come down on the inside. He's running in second place in the Buccaneer. That boat back in 1972 was a double world record holder in the 280 class. I'm going to get Jim Olson's going to come over and join us here. Let's get over here where we can see. And you are our vintage representative for Region 10. Is that right, Jim?
Region 10 vintage rep, yeah.
All right, so, well, first of all, that's quite a show, watching that Merion Bluegrass.
It is fun to watch, and it's really a tribute to Earl and to Kirkstad, Fred. They spent a lot of time, a lot of money, but it's beautiful, and it runs the way it's supposed to.
It really does. We love it when boats come by and you can't talk when they go by. Because
that's the way it's supposed to be.
That is absolutely. So here we got this Annabelle S team and the Buccaneer. You want to talk about history in the Leach family and the Buccaneer, you can go on for days.
Yeah, John's been at this forever. So is David. And David is one of those guys that's stepped up and really has showed our guys how to make starts. Done a wonderful job of that. And, you know, you can't thank him enough. John doesn't need to be out here. He does it for us. And David does it for his dad. So that's the way this is. That's what this family's about. So. And the same here. We got Eddie Kelson in a boat that he and his dad built. Don Kelson. And here.
And you talk about Earl Lamb driving a Merion Bluegrass. He's here this weekend with us. I had a nice conversation with Earl this morning.
Well, and the thing with Earl is there's so many stories, and that's one of the things that I get out of this. These are the guys that were my heroes when I was a kid and watched, and I get to be part of it now and get to be their friend. And we have more time telling stories and listening that are just wonderful. So
You and me both. We grew up with this stuff. Kelly Hodgkin and David Leach having a lot of fun. And you know, they're not racing, but they kind of are, but nobody is having any more fun than them.
and that's the whole point of this. If the fans on the beach are enjoying it, then we've done our job, and that's what our job is, to put on a show, make it look like it used to.
Well, one more time, checker flag. Well, before they took to the water, I said if you like noise and a fast boat, you might enjoy this one.
That's it, and that's the other neat thing about this is Eddie Kelson, his dad, Don, is the one that did the replica of the Merion, which is basically a copy of Annie's Dodge. David's not running right now. They've got a motor apart, and they got the decks off the boat, and it's getting some TLC, but that's how that came about, and it's been a real asset to our group.
Now, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to come down and pick up a checkered flag. Annabelle S. and two-time double world record holder, the Buccaneer. And they'll cross dead even as well, they should.
Dead even, and you have the Region 10 high point for 2012 was Kelly Hodgkin in the green boat, Annabelle S. David is probably, I think, if things continue the way they are right now, I think David's got more heats than anybody this year. He'll be our high point for 2013. And this is your rookie of the year right here. Got the biggest and the fastest, and he'll be our rookie. So it's great to have these guys involved. It's a great family.
And I think I speak for everybody here. Thanks to you for all you do, because like you say, you work with them now, and you want the fans to just enjoy it. We all are.
That's what it's about. And if the people go away with a smile and they remember this, that's all we can do.
Well, go gas these things up. We want them to run again.
Oh, we'll be back. Don't worry.
Thanks, Jim, very much. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? We enjoy that show. That is some kind of good stuff. That is what it was back in the day. Listening to Jim talk, saying when he was a kid, gosh, when I was a kid, it's what it was all about. And to go over and talk to Earl Lamb, who drove that Merion Bluegrass so very, very well back in the day. That is just a beautiful piece of machinery.
Olson makes his way out on the racetrack. We'll get your microphone going here. Let's see. I've lost Debbie. Tell you what, just use mine here and we'll put this one down. We do want to thank Carl Fortner and Debbie Meir with their great work today. The PA, Carl's been doing the streaming, and it's www.video1us.us, and we got one more to go here, day number 1 of 2, and it's a doozy.
It's going to be a good run. He may be last, but he's probably about as loud as anybody out there. I don't know if I should say this or not, but I think this is probably the engine development program for GP next year. and Jeff's laughing up here, but I think it's probably truer than most know. I think you're going to see Kirk in a new GP come spring. So you can hear him. He's out there. He's not running that hard. He's definitely run harder than that. We ran Chelan last fall, and he ran a top speed of about 132, I think it was. The boat looked great. There's lots of things to learn, and Kirk doesn't have any race experience in boats. He has car experience, did NASCAR for a while, and very successful at that. Well, as you can see if you've looked at the boat, he's also very successful here.
Now, what are we looking at cubic inch-wise, Jim, here with this one, this big block?
Well, it should be a 427. That may be a little bigger than that, but we're not racing. We're not confined to a specific rule like, say, 5 liter is, where it's, if you go over, you're done.
Right.
Take it home. You can hear Kirk coming down pretty hard down the front chute right now. The thing you'll notice is when he gets down to the turn, he shuts it down. He doesn't stay in it. These boats don't turn like the new boats do, so if you try and drive that thing into the turn like they do these competition boats, we'll be out there picking him up, and we don't need that.
Well, that's another thing with racing. In yesteryear, it was hammered down in the chutes, and it took a lot of technique and skill to wrestle them around the corner in the old days.
Well, a lot of the guys claim you had to drive them like a sprint car. You go down, throw it in the turn, and just put your foot in it and keep wrestling. And they hop and buck, and they do all kinds of things that you don't want. But that's the way the narrow transom boats were. They just wouldn't stay up on top. And you can hear him. He's on it pretty hard right now. So doing well. I'm not sure just how fast he's going, but it's a great show. And like I say, I think this is the development program for next year. But it's always fun to watch. They come so well prepared. They've got lots of equipment. It is absolutely spotless and meticulously prepared. And I've seen him wipe that thing down about 6 times a day and polish it as well. So
also, too, Jim, as Brad comes up, this is a replica. This is not a restoration, and that's a thing that a lot of folks are doing, getting those old plans and just building old stuff.
This actually didn't come off of plans. This was just a boat. They measured up the quick delivery, or Annie's Dodge, excuse me, David Kancianich's boat, and Don put it together, and here we are. And you know, he's out there running. Took him a while. He's meticulous in his preparation, so he did a great job, and we're just delighted to have him here. And while I got a chance, I want to thank both you and Brad, Tacoma Inboard for having us here, Carson's for their support and everything this weekend. There's 12 vintage boats here. This is the most we've had since last fall at our standalone event in Chelan, and we're just delighted to be here, and it's so fun to be with everybody and put on a show like we are.
Oh, we're glad to have you. And talking about vintages, October 5th and 6th, you'll be over at Lake Chelan for Mahogany and Merlot.
Well, and you could have some other kind of wine if you wanted. There's Cabernet, as Brad says. There's lots of wineries over there. Something to do for everybody. They put on a great show, and it's always a good time. There's a ton of wineries. They love having us over there. So come and join us. It's a great weekend, and I wish you were out here on the West Coast. We'd have you over there too.
I would come if I was out here, but a little bit far to travel on the weekend from Madison out to Lake Chelan. I want to get to Lake Chelan someday. I understand it's just so beautiful.
It is an incredible place. The lake is well over 600 feet deep in places, and you know, some places it goes up just as quick as it goes down on the beaches around there. But they have a beautiful park in town. They treat us well. It's a great place to run. The wind picks up from time to time, but you know, it's just super. So there you see the end of the exhibition by the Merion Bluegrass. Another nice run, and comes back in one piece, which is always the best.
That's always the best. And Jim Olson, again, thank you very much. You'll be back tomorrow with us, the vintage portion.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I got a question.
Brad's got a question here.
Is Earl Lamb here this weekend?
I have not seen Earl. He's normally here. He's made most of the events. He may have taken this week off, but come to Chelan. I guarantee you he'll be there, and he loves to talk boats, and we'll get him on the mic over there. We did that last year. It'll be fun again. So thank you, guys, and we look forward to tomorrow.
Outstanding. We're looking forward to, and Brad Luce, as always, great working with you. Great job in the pits, and big thank you goes out to Scott and Linda Carson. Security Race Products, our title sponsors this year for this year's event, and tomorrow we'll run for the Yappuccino Memorial Regatta.
What do you think of this weather?
I like it. I told you the sun would come out today.
It did indeed. When you got off the plane yesterday, it was raining buckets, but this is what we can get in a 24-hour period. It's going to do nothing but get better. I don't know if the racing can get any better, Jeff. We saw some really, really good boat racing.
Saw some good stuff today. Beautiful venue for inboard hydroplane racing here at Spanaway.
Thank you. Hopefully that's not an issue.
Did you ever drive one of these? Did you ever drive one of these?
All right, that's why I was just waiting over there for everybody to catch up. One of the things when we've got more experience driving out there, we know what we've got to do to get the group together. This is great class. Today is just always the class that I remember going to 7 years, Alexander, beautiful dog. Runs very well. Does a great job with that. All right.
My ducky's got problems. Watch Merion just lay it down. Duck's driving hard though.